That's
be
right.
February.
How many more days?
Hey, we're getting a winter, Gil. I can't argue that. All right, research is the path forward to new treatments and cures for debilitating diseases like Alzheimer's. And today is International Women and Girls in Sciences Day. And we are talking to a researcher in the dementia field, Dr. Carolyn Fredericks, assistant professor of neurology at Yale. First of all, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Two very important topics. First of all, the research that you're involved in. Good for you. And of course, the mentoring aspect of this too. Let's first start off by talking about the research that you're doing at the Alzheimer's Association as well.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me. And I'm here at Yale, and I do research using a number of different specialized scans, including PET scans and MRI scans. And we use those to try to understand better how Alzheimer's disease works in the living brain of people who are suffering from the disease.
Yeah, it is so important to just know more about that and how we can prevent it. And you actually have an all-female lab there at Yale as well, which is very interesting. Can you tell us about that?
I do. And that wasn't completely intentional, but I do have two wonderful research assistants who are both young women.
So talk to us about the importance of mentoring women nowadays into the science fields especially.
You know, this was a big part of why I got into the field. When I was between high school and college, I actually worked here at Yale as a research assistant with a wonderful woman, Hilary Blumberg, who's now a professor of psychiatry here, but was just getting started then. And she was just such a powerful mentor for me, both in terms of my decision to go into science and also in terms of, you know, what it's like to be a woman in science, juggling all the various demands that a lot of women do.
So since you have gone through it, maybe you can shed some light on why there aren't more women in higher ranks in the science field.
That's a great question. I think, you know, part of it is that many women really value flexibility in their careers. And as a culture, I think we haven't made it very easy for women to balance the demands of family and work. And so I think some women choose to opt out at a certain stage. I think there's some systemic blocks in place a little bit too. My hope is that that's something that can change in the years to come.
Okay, so let's say there are some young girls watching right now and they're listening to you. What would you say to young people who are kind of researching their path in life and feel inspired by what you're saying?
I think if you're someone, you know, especially who's experienced the impact of a certain illness. You know, for me, my grandmother had Alzheimer's disease, and so as I was going through high school and college, that was so much on my mind. This kind of career where you can be both a physician and a scientist, where you can care for patients who are suffering with that kind of illness and do something that will really, you hope, help them in the future. That can just be such a rewarding combination.
Wow, you are very inspiring. Dr. Fredericks, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you so much for your work, really, that all you are doing for the Alzheimer's work as well. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Okay. And we'll be right back after this short break.